In this video we're looking at solving quadratics by factorising. So hopefully you've had a look at my factorising video. I'm pretty happy with factorising anyway, where you take a quadratic and put it into two brackets. So that's what we're going to start with. Now quadratics generally are ax squared plus bx plus c. For this particular video only dealing with ones where a equals 1. In future videos we'll look at ones where a is not 1 and it becomes a slightly higher level skill. In this one, if you remember, we're looking to factorise it, so it should split into two brackets. It's just x squared, so there's going to be an x and an x at the front of the bracket, and we're looking for two numbers that add to give 5 and multiply to give 6. So that's going to be 2 and 3. Now, when we're solving, we're looking for where the curve crosses the x-axis here, and it's going to cross the x-axis when the y-coordinate is 0. So we're going to end up with 0 equals x plus 2, x plus 3. Now that means that these two terms are multiplying together to give 0. Well, that means either that must be 0 or that must be 0. So we've got x plus 2 equals 0. Well, that means that x must be negative 2. Or we might have the situation where the other bracket is equal to 0, and that means that x is minus 3. Now there are two solutions, and we've solved it. Just for clarity, we're going to plot it. You should notice that the y-intercept is 6, and therefore roughly the graph will have a parabola shape, something like that. Now with this second one here, if we factorise it, we get x minus 7 and x plus 4. And if we're going to solve it, that means that y is equal to 0. So 0 equals these two factors multiplied together. Now, if this bracket is going to be 0, then x is 7. Or if this bracket is going to be equal to 0, x will be minus 4. So on our graph here we'll have a solution at 7 and a solution at minus 4, and you'll see that the crossing point of this one is negative 28, so you'll end up with a curve that goes all the way down to negative 28 and comes back up again like that. And we've got our two solutions there and there. In this final one we're going to factorise it. So x and x, two numbers that add to give negative 6, multiply to give negative 8, positive 8, my apologies. If they're going to multiply to give a positive number, but add to give negative, it means they're both going to be negative. And I think we'll come out with 4 and 2, which means that we're going to have two things that multiply together to give 0, because we're solving, and y equals 0 on the x-axis. So either x is going to be 4 to make that bracket 0, or x is going to be 2 to make that bracket 0, giving us a solution at 2, a solution at 4, and the 8 tells us it's going to go through the y-axis at 8, and therefore, pardon my parabola not being as accurate as I'd like it to be, there we go. We've got a parabola going through the two solutions on the x-axis and the y-intercept on the y-axis.